Greetings, Shelpers, and welcome back to the cabin. I apologize. I know it's been a while, but I have another cryptid from Wisconsin to bring you. So grab a snack or a blanket and let us begin. Our critter takes us to a northern Wisconsin town called Rhinelander. It was settled officially in 1882, though before that, it was a logging settlement. Its plentiful forests and river made it ideal for mills and lumber companies to spring up. Some trees in the area were so large they were reported to be over 6 feet across at the base. But, as was common in those days, people cut down trees without replenishing them, and soon many of the lumberjacks and companies had to go farther afield to find more wood. Since wood was no longer as plentiful the decade after the town was founded, half of the mills and some of the businesses shuttered. It was no longer an up-and-coming community for people to settle in, and families considered packing up. That is, until one man had a strange experience. In 1893, Gene Shepard, a lumberman, surveyor, and constant prankster, came back from the forest one day with the most spectacular tale. He had seen a beast only discussed in late-night conversations among other lumberjacks. He had seen a Hodag. Hodags were creatures said to be the spirits of vengeful oxen that were mistreated by their owners. Lumberjacks often used them to transport cut logs, so most men took whisperings of their existence as a cautionary tale. Respect your beasts of burden, lest they become something terrifying. But Shepard, seemingly shaken, professed they were real. An original description of the Hodag said, it was 185 pounds, 7 feet long, a lizard-like beast. Its head was disproportionately large for its body, with 2 horns growing from its temples. It had large fangs, green eyes, and was covered with short black hair. The body appeared stout and muscular. Its back was covered with spikes, which led to a powerful tail. The forelegs were short and sturdy, with 3 claws facing forward and one pointing in the opposite direction. As the beast turned to greet his uninvited guest, its nostrils spouted flame and smoke. It had a horrible odor, which Shepard himself described as a combination of buzzard meat and skunk perfume that filled the air. Upon encountering it, Shepard immediately gathered a hunting party with guns, dogs, and squirt guns full of poisoned water. They first tried using the dogs to corner it, but the beast quickly ate the dogs. The guns were also of no use against it, but they had dynamite. The explosions didn't kill it, but started a fire that actually took the creature's life. Shepard was happy, but not happy enough. He had wanted to capture one alive. In 1896, Shepard and a group of men subdued a different one with chloroform. He brought it back to town and prepared to show it in the county's first fair. A retelling of that first showing said, the Hodag, displayed near the entrance gate of the fair, proved the event's main attraction. On Monday and Tuesday, the first 2 days of the fair, the tent was filled with a crowd of curious people throughout the day. On Wednesday, a large number of spectators gave up their dimes to see this strange animal and hear its history as told by Eugene Shepard himself. Entering a dimly lit tent and separated from the beast by a curtain and a good distance, the fairgoers witnessed the beast move and growl. Very few left the fairgrounds not believing in the authenticity of Shepard's Hodag. He then began to tour fairs around the state. As attention increased, it caught the eye of people at the Smithsonian and P.T. Barnum, but then the jig was up. Shepard, you see, played elaborate pranks his whole life, including spraying perfume on moss in the forest and having ladies look for those naturally sweet-smelling wonders, and insisting that he knew Paul Bunyan personally. But the Hodag was his greatest and most lucrative prank. The Hodag's horns and spikes derived from oxen and cattle, its movements controlled by wires, and its growl was supplied by Shepard's signs hidden in the monster's lair. The terrible smell was something he bottled from liquefied animal guts, or the equivalent. Was it for fun? To help bring more eyes to the area he loved so much as people started to move on? Or was it simply money the cash-strapped man spun the yarn for? Perhaps it matters little, as it accomplished all that and more. But even so, tales of the Hodag predate Shepard's trickery. So what are the origins? Some people say that the late-night tales lumberjacks shared before Shepard came up with his plan can be filed under fearsome critters, folk tales told around logging camps in the Great Lakes as a way to pass the time, or scare and or confuse newbies. Another possible folklore-inspired explanation, though, comes from Shepard's guides. Shepard used guides from the Ojibwe Nation during his surveying and spoke their language fluently. The Ojibwe, spending significant time with him, may have told him about a creature in their folklore called the Mishupishu, or water panther. The underwater panther is an amalgam of parts of many animals: the body of a wild feline, often a cougar or lynx, the horns of deer or bison, upright scales on its back, occasionally feathers, and other parts from other animals as well, depending on the particular myth. Underwater panthers are represented with exceptionally long tails, occasionally with serpentine properties. It is a counterpoint to the thunderbird and can cause storms, squalls, or rapids. It sinks canoes and drowns people. Their roars and hisses sound like waves crashing, and they can be protectors and helpers in some stories who religiously guard copper. Nearly everyone who has heard of the Hodag believes it to be a folk tale of some sort. But what about the people who see it in the modern era? On Real History, a YouTube documentary from 2022, eyewitnesses claim the Hodag is alive and well. On a sunny day close to dusk, Desiree French, a local girl from Rhinelander, was in the woods just outside of town. She would climb trees and just listen to nature, something kids in rural areas do a lot. But one day, things were different. She saw a Hodag. She said he was black, very black. He had 2 spikes on his head and at least 15 going down his back. She indicates he had 10-inch claws. Then, there's local artist Rod Umlauf's encounters. Rod recounts how he and his family would often come up to northern Wisconsin when he was a kid to go camping. He shares how one night, they noticed a shape coming closer to their camp, eyes reflecting the red glow of the campfire. It had a horrible stench and seemed to be covered in horns. At first, Rod actually chalked it up to his uncle playing a prank, but after seeing the fear and how the monster had also caught him off guard, Rod realized this was no trick. His uncle promptly picked up a rock and tossed it at the creature, causing it to scurry away. Rod goes on to share just how 10 years ago he was out snowshoeing when he crossed a hill, only to see a family of Hodags in the valley below. A YouTube channel called Rhinelander Hodag, all one word, has a handful of videos with eyewitness stories, along with a few other Hodag-related things. Some of the people are clearly lying, but I will put one of the more interesting ones into the description below. Are these accounts a case of mistaken identity? Perhaps a fat porcupine scuttling around in the woods? Are these people taking after Mr. Shepard and adding their own spin to an old yarn? Or is there something in the forest and lakes safely hidden and resoundingly dismissed because of a hoax pulled by a trickster over 100 years ago? Regardless, modern-day Rhinelander has fully embraced their unique myth. Their high school mascot is a Hodag, and the school colors are why it's now depicted as green. They have a gift shop full of Hodag merchandise. There is a Hodag gas station, stadium, radio station, and music festival. A Scooby-Doo episode from 2012 featured one, along with the fictionalized Gene Shepard. Products from other places occasionally use the Hodag name. No matter how fake it is, or isn't, it holds a place in the hearts and minds of those from the Dairy State and beyond. Thank you so much for watching and coming along this trip with me, and I will see you soon.